These men who are bringing about the New World Order don't believe in the God of the Bible. They believe in the God of light, Lucifer, the angel of light, who's flung down to the earth and became the Lord of the world. That's their God. That's why everything they do goes against what people know to be the right thing to do.
One of the reasons why gold is seen as so special is actually its complete lack of reactivity. It doesn't tarnish, it doesn't alter with time. Look closely at the contacts. You can see that the contacts are made of gold. It also has wonderful properties, and its electrical conductivity is almost unparalleled in the periodic table. And that's the reason why the most reliable contacts are actually made with a thin coating of gold over the underlying wires.
It's completely empty.
Now what I find interesting, there's a place called Turkmenistan, made out of gold and white marble. No telephone poles, no wires to be seen, and what appears to be technology that transmits energy in the same way Tesla and Professor Hutchinson is displayed for the world to see.
The remarkable works of Canadian inventor John Hutchison has drawn widespread attention from businessmen and government scientists since 1979, when he began using ultra-high electromagnetic frequencies to transform matter in some very unusual ways. It has come to be known as the Hutchison effect.
The objects you're seeing moving there is a form of levitation by translational movement, meaning that the objects become lighter and can float around. The heaviest being the barium cylinder that you see there, with the two wires coming out of it, tends to slide around on 7 pounds of its own weight. Physics of it is self-resonation of what they call a ferromagnetic and piezoelectric barium type name. Through a power amplifier and broad and narrow bands of electrical energy going into this crystal. So the applications of this in advanced applications using free energy or zero-point energy to power it would be in propulsion technologies. And a jitter activity called zero-point energy that goes through time and space. The idea is to get the material inside this to interface with the jittering action of zero-point energy. Here, I should be getting a higher reading. I had a hot spot somewhere on here. So, which made me decide to then, of course, mount the same material in cylinders. Different cylinders, of course, there are different mixes in there, and I found that that some of the cylinders are not as powerful as this material here. Okay, I'm attaching this to the base here. Another lead at the top, and it should spin, which it does. This kind of material powering motors. Of course, a very small motor at this time, but scaled up in larger amounts of material to power up to several horsepower if needed.
Hutchison hopes his simple shake and bake method of producing these crystal energy converters will attract investors who can see the potential of permanent batteries which never need charging.
Toxic that will interface with zero-point energy in space and time.
Hutchison's more dramatic experiments border on the paranormal and have generated more than just a passing interest from U.S. military research labs.
We've had about 750 demonstrations of levitation, translational movement, metallurgical samples falling apart, changing into transmuted unknown metals. Quite a variety of obscure types of effects, wood impregnated into metal, other objects in metal, monopole magnetic fields written up in many journals.
The Department of Defense spends about $1 billion annually developing directed energy weapons, such as high-energy lasers and high-powered microwaves. These weapons can disrupt or destroy their targets at the speed of light. For example, DoD has developed high-energy lasers that have successfully shot down drones, but speed isn't their only advantage. They're also less expensive per use than traditional weapons like guns and missiles. Despite those potential advantages, DoD has had trouble getting these technologies out of the lab and into service. The Army has developed a detailed transition plan to support moving these weapons into the next stages of development. We recommended that the Navy and the Air Force develop similar plans.
Officials are at last responding to the outrage over the response to the wildfires, and the death toll has risen to 111. Emergency managers are defending their decision not to activate warning sirens, suggesting that those sirens might have confused residents who are used to hearing tsunami alerts instead.